Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 8th monthly web workshop on Fluke Connect. Today's topic is Fluke Connect Work Orders. I will be providing you with an overview of Fluke Connect Work Orders along with a hands-on demonstration. My name is Chaun Carda. I am a Tier 2 Technical Support Engineer and the Fluke lead. So a few housekeeping items to cover before we begin. The session will be recorded. Phones will be muted. Type questions at any time. Please limit questions to the topic of the workshop, and questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. So our topic overview or agenda for the day. I will start by providing you with the Fluke Connect overview, a very high-level explanation of Fluke Connect. Next, I will provide a Fluke Connect Assets Software overview describing some of the features of the software. Then I will show you work orders, which will include adding, editing, and deleting them, along with assigning measurements and viewing options. Then I will provide a brief section on work orders in the Fluke Connect mobile app, and this will be followed by a live demo in the Fluke Connect software. And finally, I will answer any questions during the questions and answer section at the end of the presentation. So our first section is a quick high-level Fluke Connect overview. I just want to cover a few basic facts about Fluke Connect for anyone that may be new to the software. Fluke Connect works with over 80 different tools in 11 different categories, including digital multimeters, clamp meters, installation testers, vibration meters, scope meters, process meters, thermometers, insulation testers, infrared cameras, power loggers, and power quality monitors. The easiest way to tell if a tool will work with the Fluke Connect software is if it has the letters FC in the model name. So the 376 FC clamp meter, 1664 FC installation tester, and T3000 FC temperature module all would be Fluke Connect enabled. And the software is available in 73 countries. One other important note, the Fluke Connect software is 100% free, so please feel free to give it a try if you haven't already. So here's an overall flow of how the data is stored and moved through the various systems. In step number 1, let's say you have a problem with the rooftop HVAC package unit. It looks like an intermittent blower problem. So in step number 2, you've grabbed your 376 FC clamp meter to help diagnose the issue, and you connect it to the blower motor. In step number 3, the 376 FC communicates the readings to the Fluke Connect mobile app via Bluetooth from a safe distance away. Then in step number 4, the Fluke Connect mobile app will upload the readings to the Fluke Connect cloud where they are permanently stored. If the cell phone is out of range, the data will be stored on the phone until it reconnects to a cell signal or Wi-Fi, which is why our software works from anywhere, even an elevator shaft or in a mining field. Users can then access the Fluke Connect data in the cloud via any web-enabled device, such as a web browser, the mobile app, or a desktop software, as you can see in step 5. There are 3 tiers of Fluke Connect software. The bottom tier is measurements, which is free. The middle tier is assets, which normally costs $249 a year, but is free if you sign up right now. And the top tier is condition monitoring, which includes hardware and a software subscription. Today, we are focusing on the middle tier, the Fluke Connect Assets tier, and this section will cover that tier, including features, cost, etc. So Fluke Connect Asset Software features includes all of the free Fluke Connect measurements features. That's software that connects to over 80 different Fluke Connect enabled tools and works in 73 countries to provide electronic data capture and data logging functionality from a safe distance, with all data stored in the cloud and accessible 24/7 from any web-enabled device. So those are the measurement features, and the assets tier includes all of the measurement features. Plus, it also includes the ability to add, edit, and delete assets, asset groups, and asset subgroups, the ability to assign measurements to assets to track asset health over time. And then the last three items here on the list, noted with the red arrow, are focused on work orders, the ability to add, edit, and delete work orders, the ability to assign status, priority, and type of work order, and the ability to schedule the work order and assign it to a team member. Those are going to be the three main things we focus on today, the work orders. So Fluke Connect Assets Software is accessible via the web app. As you can see here in the upper left-hand corner, this is a screenshot of the web app, the mobile app, as you can see here on the upper right, and the desktop app, as you can see here down at the bottom. You'll notice that the web app view and the desktop view look very, very similar. However, Fluke Connect Work Orders are only available via the web app or the mobile app and are easy to use in either app. There's no real need to have them available in the desktop app, so they aren't available in the desktop app, but they are available in the web app and the mobile app. And I will be showing you both today. So Fluke Connect Assets Software costs. Fluke Connect Assets Software subscription for 1 year is $249 per user normally. So if you have a team of 3 people, that would be $747 per year. But right now, there's a free 1-year trial license with full functionality available if you sign up now through the end of the year. So if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and create your Fluke Connect account and get a free 1-year subscription to Fluke Connect Assets and all of the features you will see today. Be sure to have everyone on your team sign up as well so that you can share information among the team, share asset information, and share work order information. And keep in mind that's a $249 cost savings for a single user and a $747 cost savings for a team of 3. So the next section is on work orders, where I will show you how to create work orders, edit work orders, and delete work orders. As we go through the features, I think you will see just how robust and useful our work orders are, yet fairly simple to set up and manage at the same time. And I've worked with several Fluke Connect Assets customers that have over 500 work orders in their account, so I know some customers really like the features we have available in the work order section. So what is a work order? Work orders are an authorization of maintenance, repair, or operations work to be completed. That's in its simplest form, that's what a work order is. And Fluke Connect work orders contain the following: work order status. So there are 4 different options for status: open, in progress, completed, or closed. A description of the problem or what needs to be done. So if it's, say, an annual inspection, you might want to have a step-by-step checklist for the technician to complete. If it's just some sort of problem that's going on, just a description of what the issue is. The AC unit doesn't seem to be cooling the rooms, so that the technician knows what they're looking at. Who requested the work order? So this is who created the work order. The priority level, there's 3 different options: high, standard, and low. The work type, planned, unassigned, and unplanned. The estimated work, which is a target completion date and the number of hours you expect the work order to take. Scheduled work, which is the scheduled date you want the work to be completed on and the person you've assigned the work to on your team. Actual work, which will include the start and end date and time and the hours. And then required assets or test points. If you want to, you can specifically assign a work order to an asset so that any information that's completed in that work order is tied directly back to the asset. Now, to view your work orders in the Fluke Connect web app, you go to flukeconnect.com, which is via a web browser. You log in. I've logged into my web browser as Riley Russell. This is my demo account. She also happens to be the team lead. So you log into the web browser, and then you're going to want to click on the middle tab here, the one that's named Work Orders. So click on the Work Orders tab, and from there you'll see all of your work orders, and we'll come back to this in a bit. But if you want to create a new work order, you just need to click the Work Orders tab and click the New Work Order button. It doesn't really look like a button, but it is a button. So go ahead and click on the New Work Orders button, and that'll take you to the Create Work Order section. And if you're ever lost in the software and you don't know where you're at, if you look off to the left here, it tells you which section of the software you're in. So right now we're on the Add Work Order section. So that tells us what we're working on. We're adding a new work order. So here's the basic information section of the work order. We've got title and description. So we would fill in the title like Annual AC Inspection or 10,000 mile oil change, whatever you want to put in for the title of the work order. And here's where you can list a description of the problem or detailed steps like a task or a checklist that the technician needs to complete. Down at the bottom, the requested by is automatically filled out. I'm logged in as Riley Russell, so that's the creator of this specific work order. The priority, by default, it will always be set to standard. You can change this to high or low. And then work type, we've got unassigned. Here you have 3 different options: planned, unplanned, and unassigned, but the system will default to unassigned. Now, what's great about our software is that there are only 2 required fields to create a work order: title and description. So I could put in AC annual inspection and put down a couple of steps here and then click the done button. That's all I would need to do to create a work order. So if I want to get into the system fast and create a quick work order so I don't forget, maybe there's a problem with the chiller, I might want to put in a work order for that really quick just so I won't forget, and then I can go in and fill out the rest of the information later. So if we were to scroll down, you can see there's a scroll bar on the screen over here. Scroll down to the next section of the work order form. We can also fill in information like estimated work. This includes the target completion date, an ideal date when we'd want to have this done, and the estimated amount of work hours that we think this will take. We have the option to schedule the work. We can click on the schedule button, and that will take us to an additional screen I'll show in a moment. And we can also assign it to a specific asset or test point, and I'll show that in a moment as well. Oops. Okay, so if we go, sorry about that. If we go ahead and click on the schedule button, this is the pop-up that you're going to get: schedule work order. So here we select the date, we pop the calendar screen up, and we can select the date that we want this work order to be completed. And here where it says add assignee, begin typing to search. So I would just type in the first couple of letters of one of my teammates, and then his name would appear, his or her name would appear on the list, and I could go ahead and click the add button. And I will show you this in the live demo. It's pretty cool. Once we're done inputting these 2 fields of information, we would click the blue done button, and that would take us back to our main work order screen. And the next option would be to add an asset. Remember, this is a specific asset that we're working on: the AC unit, the chiller unit, the motor, the fan, what have you. So if we click the add button, this just tells us that we're in the asset section now, so we click the OK button. And now if you've worked on our assets, we're in the assign asset area. So I know the asset I want to select is called the backroom boiler. I know that's located in Plant 1, so I would click the Plant 1 asset group folder and see all the assets available in that folder, and then simply click on backroom boiler. And then there may be one asset test point, or there may be multiple asset test points. In the case of some equipment, we may have more than one test point that we monitor, specifically for, say, vibration. Our vibration product, we do definitely monitor more than one spot. But in this case, we have one asset test point, so I would simply select the checkbox for that asset test point and click the done button. So we click done. And that would bring us to the end of the create work order section. So here we can see that the work order's been saved. It's got a status of open. We can see that this was the title of the work order: monthly rooftop AC inspection. These were the steps involved in the AC inspection work order: inspect and clean the outdoor condensing unit, inspect the indoor coil, so on and so forth. The requested by field was automatically populated. We left the priority as standard, and we left the work type as unplanned, or actually we switched it to unplanned. estimated work, scheduled work, and required assets were not filled out because it looks like we just did the minimum for this particular work order. So if I want to edit a work order, it's very, very simple. All we need to do is go back to the Work Orders tab, the main Work Orders tab, find the work order that we want to edit. In this case, it's the monthly rooftop AC inspection. So I would just click on that work order and it would bring up the web-based information for this work order, and we could go in and make modifications to any section of the work order we wanted. If we wanted to change this from monthly to bi-monthly, we could do that. If we wanted to change the steps, we could do that. Change the priority, the work type, add in maybe the estimated work information so that we have a little more details, and maybe even go ahead and schedule the work order and assign it to a technician for a specific date to have it completed. Now, so editing is pretty easy. You just click on the work order you want to edit and go in and change any part of the work order that you want to change. To delete a work order, that's also very simple. You click on the Work Orders tab, find the work order that you want to delete, and go to the very far right-hand corner, click on the drop-down box there, and they'll give you an option that says delete. So we'd click on this drop-down box, select the delete option. That's the only option that will appear. And it's going to give you a pop-up box that says, please type the word delete to confirm that you want to delete this work order. So you'll have to actually type on the keyboard the word delete and then click confirm, the confirm button, because we just want to make sure that you really do want to actually delete the work order before you execute that command. Okay, next. Next, I will show you how to assign one measurement to a work order. Let's say you've taken your 376 FC clamp meter and your T3000 FC temperature module with you and use them to perform the steps in the work order. So you want to assign those measurements to the work order to show your work. So the first thing you would do is go, if you didn't do it while you were actually in the process of working on the work order, you can always go back in and do it later. And this is how you would do that from the web application. So you go to the Measurements tab to find all of the measurements that you've recorded in your account. Click on the Measurements tab. And here, this is maybe the 376 FC measurement that we've taken during the process of our work order. So if I want to assign this to a work order, you'll see that the bottom option, it says assign to work order. This has a piece of paper next to the chain icon, and that is the icon for assign to work order. So we would just click this assign to work order option here, and that will take us to the work order screen. And here is where we would select the work order we want to assign the measurement to. So in this case, it's the monthly rooftop AC inspection. So we click on that and it says assign work order by clicking assign button. So we would click the blue assign button and that would complete the process. That measurement would be assigned to that work order, which is great. But let's say you have multiple measurements that you've taken and you want to assign all of those measurements with one single action, as opposed to going in multiple different times, clicking on the assign to work order option. We have a way to do that. So you go to the Measurements tab again, you select the checkbox next to all of the measurements you want to assign to the same work order. So we've checked this one and we've checked this one. And now instead of clicking assign to work order on the individual measurement, you come back up here to the top where we have the group action function, and you can see the same icon, the piece of paper with the tiny chain link on it. So we click that, which right next to the trash can. And once we've selected the measurements and then we click that icon, it takes us to the same screen we saw before, the work order screen, where we select the work order we want to assign the measurement to, or the two measurements to actually. So we click there, we click the assign button, and we're done. We've assigned our work order, our two measurements to our single work order. And you can assign, as many measurements as you want. Normally you'd probably have a handful of them, but you can, I don't think there's a limit on that. Okay, so now that you've seen how to create, edit, and delete work orders, I will show you the different viewing options available for work orders. So at the top right next to the number 1 red arrow here, you can see you've got two options, Overview and Work Orders List. Now the software defaults to the Work Orders List, but you can always click on the Overview option to get an overview of all the work orders in your account and for your team. So next to the number 2, you can see that I took this screenshot back on Wednesday, November 25th. And at that time, I had 2 open work orders, I had 2 in progress work orders, and I had 3 completed work orders. And you'll notice that all of the different statuses are color coded. So open work orders will always show up with a little blue dot. In progress work orders will always show up with a yellow dot. Completed work orders will always show up with a dark gray dot, and closed work orders will be a light gray. So if I want to view any of these in more detail, I click on the down arrow, and that will expand the work orders under that specific category. So I did that here under open work orders, and you can see I have 2 open work orders. Right now they're not assigned to anybody, and they don't have a scheduled date, and they're both marked as standard priority. Green is standard, red is high, green is standard, yellow is low. Down below, we've got overdue work orders, unassigned work orders, and upcoming work orders. So maybe it's, Monday, and I want to check to see what activities we have to look at because they're overdue or unassigned. So I might want to go in and take a look at those. And I can do that simply by clicking on the show options here. And off to the very far right here, under latest updates, we can see any activity that's been going on. Now in this case, I can see that Travis has been, these are all blue, so these are all open work orders. They haven't been worked on yet. Travis Turner has been assigned the fan repair work order, the chiller troubleshooting work order, and the motor troubleshooting work order. But he has not started any of these. The status has not changed from blue to in progress. So I might want to talk to Travis and ask him, why he hasn't started working on any of the work orders he has assigned to him. So next, we're still on the work order tab, but at the top right, you'll notice that the view has changed from overview to work order list. So here's where we can see more details about each one of the work orders. So we click on the work order list. At the very top, you'll also notice next to the number 2, this says all work orders, but there's a little caret or a down arrow here. So if we clicked on this, it would toggle from all work orders to my work orders because, I'm logged into my demo account as Riley Russell, and she's a team lead, but she's also a technician. So she has to, manage the work orders and assign them, but she also has her own work orders that she needs to work on. So I might want to toggle this to my work orders to check out what I have assigned to me for the week. And I'll show you that in the live demo. We also have the ability to filter work orders. So there are 2 views for the filter option. You can filter by status, and those are the closed, open, in progress, or completed work order statuses. Or you could filter by priority, high, standard, and low priorities. And down here, this is the main, work order list, which is exactly what you would expect. So we've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's great about this section or this block of the screen is you can sort on any one of these column headers. So in this case, we've got it, you can see that it's bold. We've sorted on work order number, so they're in a descending order. We could also sort on type. We could sort on assignee. We could sort on all of these different fields, priority, and I will show you that in the software as well. We can also search. So as you would expect, there's a freeform text field. So if I wanted to enter in, say, motor or chiller or maybe just the word annual to find all of my annual work orders, I could do that because I've got them labeled annual sump pump, or all my monthly work orders. I could do that as well. The next section is to show you work orders in the Fluke Connect mobile app, because that's where many of your technicians will be accessing this information. And what's great about the Fluke Connect software is that everything you can do in the web app, you can do in the mobile app. So you can create, edit, and delete work orders, schedule them, assign them to a teammate, update the priority, assign data to them. There's a lot of functionality available. So from the Fluke Connect mobile app, there are 2 ways to access work orders. From the home page, when you first log into the mobile app, this is what you're going to see. And we've added some information, so the screen is a little bit too long to show all in one view, but down here at the bottom, there's an option that says My Work Orders. I've scrolled up a little here, so here you can see the My Work Order section of the home page. Right now I have 0 open work orders, 1 in progress work order, and 2 completed work orders. And over here, you can see that if I clicked on the 3 lines in the upper left-hand corner, I can access the menu options. And these are the different menu options available, so I could go to the work orders from there as well. You'll notice that the assets and work orders both have locks because these two options are part of the Fluke Connect Assets Software tier. And here you can see it says you are on Fluke Connect Assets trial, 203 days remaining. So after 203 days are up, these locks are going to lock because that's when my free trial expires. So once you are in the mobile app and you're looking at the work orders, you've got two viewing options. Again, you can view all work orders. So you can see here I've got, these are other work orders in the system that aren't assigned to me, motor troubleshooting and fan repair. Or you can look at just your work orders. And in this case, the boiler troubleshooting is my work order. And remember our color coding options. Yellow is in progress, so this work order is in progress. And this is a high priority work order, so it's an in progress high priority work order. This is the dark gray, so this work order has been completed, and this was a low priority work order. The ones assigned to myself are, I've got an in progress work order number 4 for boiler troubleshooting, and it's marked as a high priority work order. And here you can see the list of things that I'm responsible for. I need to check the thermostat, I need to check the fuse box circuit panel, the standing pilot, so on and so forth. These are my instructions on what I need to do. So again, because we have the ability to store, 500, 1,000, 2,000 work orders in the system, you definitely need the ability to search, sort, and filter. So we have that functionality in the mobile app as well. Here's the freeform text box. So if I wanted to, I could just type in a phrase like AC or chiller or annual, any kind of phrase that I want to, and it will search and retrieve all the matches from the system. If I wanted to, if I clicked here off to the right, this is where the sort and filter options appear. Under sort, we have the ability to sort on these options: estimated completion date, schedule date, start date, completion date, and priority. We can also filter on 3 different items. Filter on status, priority, or type. So for status, we can view all, or just the open work orders, just the in progress work orders, so on. You see the options here. For filter priority, we've got high, standard, and low. And then for work order type, we've got all, unplanned, and planned. So quite a few different options available. To create a work order, so if you're in the mobile app and you want to create a work order, this is a little bit hard to find, but it's there. So to create a work order in the mobile app, you'll want to click on the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on those 3 dots, you'll get a pop-up down below with 2 buttons: add work order or cancel. So obviously, since we're creating a work order, we want to click the add work order button. But I do admit this is a little hard to find, and if you're in the mobile app and you can't find something, always check those 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner. Odds are whatever you're looking for is there. If there's not an option on the screen itself and you can't find where it is, check those 3 little dots and that'll probably give you what you're looking for. So I click on those 3 little dots, I tap the add work order button, and it takes me to the add work order screen where, just like in the web app, I've got the basic information section, which includes title, description, requester, which is automatically populated by the user account I'm logged in as, the priority, which defaults to standard, and work type, which here is unplanned, and estimated work, and so on. I could continue scrolling down in the app to see all the other sections of the work order, schedule work order, etc. So if I wanted to, I could even go in, build the work order, click the schedule work order button, assign this work order a specific completion date and a team member username. So Fluke Connect, the other thing that's very cool about Fluke Connect Work Orders is that the Fluke Connect Work Orders also automatically sends notifications when you sign a work order to someone. So maybe in this particular instance, I was logged in to the web app as Riley, the team lead, and I assigned work order number 9 to Travis, my teammate. So if he's logged into the Fluke Connect mobile app, he will get this automated pop-up or notification. It says work order number 9 is assigned to you. Now, he only gets that notification if he's logged into the app. He won't get it otherwise, so he needs to be logged in. Hopefully during the course of his day, he's logged into the mobile app, so he'll get this notification. And this is what it looks like on the main screen. The good news is that if he isn't logged into the mobile app, maybe he's at lunch and he's logged out because he's taking his lunch break, what will happen when he goes back in and does log in, he'll see a little red notification here. This tells him that he's got a notification that came in while he was logged out of the app, and he'll click on that, and he'll be able to see, okay, work order number 9 is assigned to you. This was the date and time that happened. This is the name of the work order, compressor troubleshooting, and this is the first step in the process for that work order. And here's the estimated completion date. So kind of a snapshot. He can say, okay, today's the 24th, so I have till tomorrow to complete this work order. And he can tell that this is a new notification because it's in bold black. He's marked these other previous work order notifications as red so that they're grayed out. So he knows that this is from, early in the day, and he's already looked at those. So you can see just how sophisticated our work order software is with all the options available on a work order, things like status, priority, type, and how versatile it is being able to use it in both the web app or the mobile app and send notifications to teammates. So now I'm going to show you how to use some of the features you just saw in the Fluke Connect work order presentation. I will show you in the web app as Riley, the team lead, how to view work orders, how to create a basic work order, how to edit that work order to schedule it and assign it to a teammate. Then in the mobile app, I'm going to log in as Travis, my teammate, and show you how he views the work order, how he starts work on that work order, how he can add readings to that work order, say from a tool, and how he can complete that work order, and how all that information gets synced back to the cloud. Okay, so we're going to toggle over to the software. So now you can see that this is the web interface. I'm logged into a web browser. I've got Google Chrome up. I went to flukeconnect.com and logged in. I've logged in as Riley Russell, the team lead, and the system automatically takes me to the measurements page as my landing page, but I know I want to go into work orders and work on work orders. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the work orders tab. And you'll remember that the default view for the work orders tab is the work order list view. So this is what shows up first, but I want to start with the overview because maybe it's Monday morning and I want to go to the overview page to see, all the different types of work orders and what their current statuses are. So here's a summary. It's Wednesday, December 2nd. I can see I've got 3 open work orders. I've got 2 in progress work orders. I've got 7 completed work orders. And down below, I've got 7 overdue work orders, 3 unassigned work orders, and 2 upcoming work orders. So maybe I'll start by looking at my open work orders. So I click on the little down arrow over here, and from there I can see I've got work order 9, 7, and 8 that are open. They're color-coded blue. I can see these are the work order names in bold black letters. If I hover just right, I can actually get a pop-up with all of the instructions in the work order itself. So for the compressor troubleshooting work order, I've got 4 steps. Turn on the power, check the oil level, make sure the pressure switch is working, and check the pressure in the tank. So those are the steps of that work order, and that's true of all the other work orders as well. In this particular instance, you can see the first work order has been assigned to me, Riley, and I can see that it's got a scheduled date and it's a high priority work order. The other 2 work orders have not been assigned, do not have scheduled date, and are just normal priority. Now, maybe as a team lead, let's go ahead and minimize that. One of my responsibilities, I maybe have a manager and he goes in, first thing Monday morning at 6 o'clock and creates a whole bunch of work orders. But my responsibility as the team lead is to go in and look at those new unassigned work orders and assign those to technicians. Maybe because I'm the team lead, I know the team's responsibilities and their skill sets much better. So I would go in and review each one of these work orders and say, oh, the AC inspection, yeah, I need to assign that one to Travis, and the chiller troubleshooting, that'll need to go to Tim, and I would know exactly where to assign these. So I could go in and manage my work from the overview view. Now, The other option is to go in and look at the work order list, which will give you much more detailed information about all of the work orders. And because this is a web application, it's always a good idea to click the refresh button to make sure that you're viewing all of the work orders in the system. Here you can see we've got, it looks like, I think there's a total of 15 work orders. And again, what's great about this is that we have the work orders are color coded, so without even seeing any details, I can tell that I've got all the blue work orders are the open work orders, the yellow work orders are the in progress work orders, and the dark gray work orders are the ones that have been completed. So if I wanted to, remember I said I could sort on the work order field, so I could do that here. So it's sorting sort of in descending order. I can sort on the title or description. So here we've got all the A's, then the B's, then the C's. I can sort on type. So I've got all of the planned work orders show up at the top, and then we've got unassigned work orders, and then we've got unplanned work orders. I could sort on assignee if I wanted. Here I can see we've got, a couple assigned to Travis, a couple assigned to Riley, or what I really like is the ability to sort on priority, right? So which work orders are top priority? So these are the top priority work orders. These are the normal priority work orders. And then down at the bottom, we've got the low priority work orders. So remember, I also have the ability here, right now I'm looking at all work orders, but I can focus just on my work because in addition to being the team lead, I'm a technician. So I might want to, after I've done my management responsibilities, I might want to toggle over to my work orders. And here I can see just the 4 work orders that are assigned to me. So these are the 4 that are assigned to me. 2 have been completed, 1's open, and 1's in process. Let's go back to the all work orders view. So now we can see we've got all the work orders again. And let's say maybe I want to filter. Maybe I'm back in my team manager mode and I want to say, you know what, I really only care about the ones that are open. So let's just look at just the open ones. So those are all the blue category ones. I can see that of the open work orders, I've got 1 that's priority and 2 that are standard priority. So maybe I want to go back and say, let's just view just the open work orders that are high priority. And here, voila, now I'm down to 1. Now, I've only got 15 work orders, so the filter feature is great, but I probably don't really need to use it. I could just use the sort. If I'm one of those customers out there that have 500 to 1,000 work orders, and I've seen a few of those, the filter option is going to save them, right? Because they're going to want to go in and immediately screen out all the closed work orders because those are done. Maybe take a closer look at the open work orders and start with the high priority, then maybe go back in and look at the open standard priority, and filter accordingly so that they can manage what's most important. Now in our case, we're just going to go back to the standard view so that we can see everything. We also have the ability, if we want to do a search. So maybe I want to find all of my work orders that are related to the AC system, or maybe if I wanted to, I could say, this says chiller annual inspection. Maybe I want to find all of my annual inspection work orders. There's another annual one. I could do that. I could search on all of my annual inspections because it's time to copy those work orders to create new work orders for the next year. We're in December, so I want to go in and update all of these annual work orders and create a new set of annual work orders for January. But if I click on AC, here you can see I've only got 2 work orders that have the words AC in it: rooftop AC inspection and factory AC troubleshooting. Let's go ahead and clear that out. And the next thing we're going to do, now that you've seen the overview view and the work orders list view, you've seen how to toggle between viewing all work orders and some work orders, the ability to filter on status and priority and search for work orders, and sort work orders based on any one of the column headers. The next thing I want to show you is how to create a new work order. So we click on new work order. And remember, there's only 2 fields that are absolutely required, the title and the description. So for title, maybe I want to type in backroom boiler problem. So, and then I might want to type in a description here. Just to give my technician a heads up on what's going on. You'll notice that the requested field is automatically populated. The priority field is defaulted to standard, and the work type is set as unassigned. So at this point, I could click the done button because these are the only 2 pieces of information that are required. Now, in my case, I think what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and change the It's kind of a tricky. I'm having a little problems today with the mouse. I'll just leave it as standard, but you can go in and you can see here, you can change the settings if you want. So if I wanted to switch this to standard or to high or low, I could do that. I'm going to go ahead and set a completion date for Friday, the 4th. And I think this will probably take my technician a couple of hours to do. Now at this time, I'm not going to schedule the work or assign any assets to this work order. I'm just going to go ahead and click the done button because I've entered the information that I want. That's all you need to do to create a work order. So if you're in a hurry, it's pretty fast. Now what I want to do is go back in, maybe it's the next day or two, and I figure out I need to schedule this work order and assign it to somebody. So let's see where that work order is. Backroom boiler. Let's do a quick refresh. And there it is. So our work order, our new work order is work order number 16. It's got the blue open status. This is the one I just typed in, backroom boiler problem. Check on the backroom boiler, it's running hot. So I want to go into that work order and I'm going to go ahead and schedule this work order. So I'm going to assign a scheduled date and a teammate. So I click the schedule button. I'm going to go ahead and assign it to the 4th. I want to have this fixed by the 4th. And it says begin typing to search. So I'm going to type in my teammate's name, Travis. I typed in the first couple letters and you'll see his name pops up. So I'll select his name. The only names that are going to appear here in this add assignee list are the people on your Fluke Connect team. So you need to make sure that they're added to your team. So I click the add button and now Travis is assigned to this specific work order. Now, if maybe I forgot that Travis was on vacation Friday, so I might want to go in and assign this to someone else. I can click the delete button and it will delete the assignment and I can go in and assign it to a different person. Now in my case, I know Travis is working Friday, so I'm going to leave it assigned to him. I'm going to click the done button. And now you can see that this information has been updated. Schedule date is now December 4th and assignee is Travis Turner. The other thing we might want to do is change the work type from unassigned to, let's see, to planned. Because we've assigned this work order to Travis, so it's no longer unassigned. So we may want to make a note that it's been planned. Okay, so far I've logged into my account as Riley Russell. You can see this information here at the top. Created a new work order and scheduled it for this Friday and assigned it to my teammate Travis. Right, so far the work order is on the system here. Go back to the main page for work orders. I can find that work order here, backroom boiler problem. So here's the work order, it's open. It's in a planned status, it's assigned to Travis, and that's the scheduled completion date. So now I'm going to log into the Fluke Connect mobile app as Travis, and you'll see what he would see. So I need to set up the mirroring option so you can see on my computer what I'm showing on my phone. Okay. So I'm logged in now as Travis. So this is Travis's account. You can see his Fluke Connect Assets trial is going to expire after 118 days, but right now I'm logged in as Travis. And on the home page, you'll see that at the very bottom, it's hard to see with this little logo here, but at the very bottom, we've got our number of work orders, so we can access our work orders. At the top, we've got our notification. Oops. Oh no, sorry about that. We've got our notifications. So if I want to go in and look at my notifications, I can see here that, oh no. We've got 2 new work orders, work order 15 that was assigned earlier today. let's see, this is the chiller annual inspection, and then the one I just created just a moment ago, work order 16. Work order 16 was assigned to me, Travis, on December 2nd at 8:41. This is the backroom boiler problem. This is what I want to have Travis work on. The estimated completion date for this is December 4th. So I can go back, and at this point I can go down to the bottom and click on my work orders, and I can see those are a couple of work orders that I've already completed. I can scroll down to the next one. You'll see here that backroom boiler problem. This is work order 16. It's open. It's currently in the open status, and it's a standard priority. So I'm Travis. I'm out on site now. I want to start working on this work order. So I tap the work order. Here I see the status is marked as open. I can scroll down, see additional information, estimated work. I can see that, my teammate Riley says that this needs to be done by December 4th. She says it's going to take about 2 hours. And then all the way down at the bottom, you can see actual work says the date and time, and then the end date and time as well. Now, when I click the start work order button down here, what's going to happen is it's going to note that start date and time on the work order. It'll automatically capture that for me. So I go ahead and click start work order. And here's where I can save measurements information. You'll see it says no measurements or notes have been saved. Tap an option below to add measurements or notes to this work order. So I'm going to close that. Here I can go in and add notes. I'll just show you that real quick. So you'll see here that initially the work order was in an open status when Riley Russell logged in and created it on the web app. When I click the start button, the status changed from open to in progress. And you can see Travis Turner's the one who did that and is working on it. Now I'm done with this. I don't need to add any notes at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and click done. Down here at the bottom, it says capture measurements. Now, if I wanted to, I could connect to a tool like a T3000 FC, a temperature meter, to capture a temperature reading for this work order. So if I click on the T3000, that's what I have on my desk here. It's open and turned on. So the temperature you're seeing on the screen is the same temperature you're seeing on my tool. It's a live reading. If I touch the temperature probe, it's going to warm up a little. My hands are pretty cold, so it's not going to warm up by much, but it's warming up. And now maybe I want to save this reading to this work order. So I simply click the save button down here at the bottom. I click save. Now at this point, if I wanted to, I could assign this measurement to an asset as well. It automatically is getting saved to work order 16. And I can maybe add a note here, like temp looks good. And then click the done button. And then I need to click the done button again. And now that information is being synced to the cloud. And I'm done using my T3000. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the X button to disconnect that. And I need to go back to that main screen. And now I'm back to my main screen, and you can see the temperature reading I just took, 68 degrees, is here, and it shows that I've got a little note. Now, if I also want to add a note from a non-FC tool, maybe I have a 374 clamp meter. It's not Fluke Connect enabled, but I want to enter the data that I've taken from that tool. I can go here and enter in a numeric reading. So maybe it was 35 AC volts that I took on that meter. So I can just choose my temperature, volts, amps, etc. here, and then click the done button. And here again, I can assign it to an asset. And I can click the done button. And you can see that it's got now these two readings, my temperature reading from my T3000 and the manual entry that I just made using the electronic keyboard. So now let's say I'm done with all the information I needed to do for the work order. So I'm going to click the back button here. And at this point, I can review and resume work on my work order, or if I'm done, maybe I've taken the readings that I need to take, so I want to change the in progress to closed because I'm done with my work. So I just click here. I can select a new status. I can select completed. You'll notice that the date, today's date and time is automatically noted when I click the completed option, so I don't have to enter that. I can click on status change note and just say something like, work completed. And then click the done option here. and then click Save. Don't forget to click Save. And the data is syncing to the cloud. That little yellow box you saw indicates that this data on my mobile device is syncing to the cloud using my Wi-Fi connection, and the status has changed from in progress to complete. So now it seems strange, but you do need to click cancel to get out of the screen. So you click the cancel option, and now you'll notice that the backroom boiler work order 16, is now grayed out because it's been completed. So that's the work order I just worked on. So now I can go back to my home page as Travis, and I will show you, go back now. Now here I'm logged in as Riley Russell, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh this screen, and I'm going to check the status of work order 16, the work order that Travis was just working on in the field. And you'll notice here that work order 16 is now marked as gray, which means it's complete. It was planned. Travis worked on it. It was scheduled to be completed on November 4th, but this is his start. If you scroll back to the top, start and completion date. Today's December 2nd at 8:45 he started work, and on December 2nd at 8:49 he completed work. So if we click there, we can go in and view that. Here you can see the different status changes. It was assigned on 12/2 at this time, and it was open. And then Travis started working on it at 12/2 at 8:45. So the status changed from open to in progress. And then he completed it at 8:48, so it turned to gray. So you can see in your notes here the activity that Travis has been working on. The other thing is that he saved data to this work order, so we should be able to see the information that he saved. So he recorded information for the T3000, 68-degree reading, and he did a manual entry of 35 volts rather. So pretty cool the way it all works out. So that actually brings us to the end of the presentation portion. That concludes the presentation portion of the 8th Fluke Connect workshop. Tomorrow you will all be receiving an email thanking you for attending. It will include a link to the recording of this presentation and a link to register for the next Fluke Connect workshop, where I will be covering a Fluke Connect overview, how your data is stored in the cloud. Also, at the conclusion of this session, you will be asked to provide feedback on the presentation in a short survey. I think it's like 3 questions, 5 questions maybe. Please take a moment to do so. I'd appreciate it. I will be taking questions now. As a reminder, please keep questions to the topic we just covered. If you have other questions or your question doesn't get answered today, feel free to contact our technical support team at flukeconnectsupport@fluke.com or 425-200-0080. And if you give me just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so that I can go ahead and take questions.